Hey there guys, Monk here, and today I'm going to be telling you why Dark Side is so much better than Light Side. Like, I know how some people, they say Light Side stats are better, and sure, Obi-Wan's stamina, it comes back pretty fast, and it's probably the best in the game. Luke's come back fast, Rey's come back fast as well. Anakin's runs out immediately but it comes back fast, and Yoda, his stamina comes back fast. Now, all of this is great, but their abilities and their damage. Luke does have some high damage, so does Anakin, but Luke also takes a lot of damage, so if you just find a Luke and you can parry him, you can trade with him. You can go for trades with Luke. With Anakin, his stamina runs out quick. You just need to hold block anytime he tries to hit you. And then, soon enough he'll be at half stamina. If you're like a Dooku or a Maul, you can just spam him. There's nothing he can do. So with Dooku, you could just duelist him. Maul, probably frame trap him. Kylo, you could freeze him and just absolutely just butcher him. But yeah, it honestly doesn't matter because all of this stamina, Vader, we all know why Vader is good. He can increase his health and focus rage. The lightsaber throw is pretty nice because it hits you on the way back as well. And he can choke. And he can also frame trap him. Vader's Vader, even without cards, he's the best in the game. Dooku, honestly, his damage is just ridiculous. He has 3 dodges, he has a stun, and he even has a health regen card. Even though I'm pretty sure he has the second highest regen in the game, right behind Obi-Wan. You can have a card to boost it even further. Like, on the light side, there's not that many cards that are banned. There's Feel the Force and Jedi Resilience. But on the dark side, you can't have cards on Vader whatsoever. You can't have regen on Dooku. You can't have Flesh is Weak on Grievous. And yeah, there's a lot of cards banned on the dark side, and you still get beaten out of them. Cowardly Retreat, that's not lovely to deal with at all. I mean, sure, you can put Massive Strikes on with Anakin, and that matches Grievous, but Grievous' abilities are just better. All Darkseid abilities are just better. Anakin has the pull, but he can't really be maneuverable with it. All you have to do is like go far away, and whenever he puts his guard down, you just know he's gonna go for that pull. So you just block. Even if you're like a Vader on the edge of stamina, you're recovering your health, stamina. If you got that tiny bit left, you block. Because you know that Anakin is just gonna pull, and that's it. That's all Anakin can do. And on maps like, Jakku, Resurgent, Anakin is practically useless because whenever he pulls, someone just goes into the ceiling, and he can't get to them. Yoda, his attacks are the slowest in the game. Now, as I said before, all their stamina on the light side, it comes back pretty fast. I mean, one jump and Anakin gets like most of his stamina back. Obi-Wan just needs to do a push or a defensive rush. Luke, he just needs to, be himself, be nimble. Rey's stamina is actually pretty good with insight, and it comes back. I think it's the fastest comeback of stamina in the game. But Rey's regen isn't good. I think it's average, but I don't know. It doesn't seem that good to me because she takes a lot of damage while taking damage herself. Luke's regen is almost the worst in the game. It's just above Boba Fett's, which is 150, but Luke has 200. Kylo Ren. Actually, I think Kylo Ren's the same as Rey, actually. But, as I was saying, Yoda's attacks, they are just so slow. The only attack which you probably won't get double parried in is his lunge attack, where he just, jumps towards you and hits you once. But any other attack, like a somersault in the air or a dash attack, it will get double parried by a Vader, maybe even choked. Then you activate Presence, then he activates Focus Rage while hitting you. And it's a losing situation. You know, he still has the lightsaber throw as well. Yoda versus pretty much anyone. Yoda versus Vader is bad. Yoda versus Grievous is bad. Yoda versus Dooku, probably the second worst odds in the game. I mean, if it's a Vader and doesn't know what he's doing, sure, Yoda can probably kill him. I like Yoda matchups with Vader more than Luke matchups. But, you know, if it's a good Vader and he knows what he's doing, he doesn't stand a chance. Yoda's attacks are just too slow. But, Yoda versus Kylo, best odds in the game if you're Yoda. Yoda versus Maul, no. I'd say I call it even. Maul's just fast. I mean, sure, Yoda has like a block breaker and health, but Maul, you know, he has the frame trap, he has the saber throw, the spin attack. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty even. But so Anakin's weakness is obviously his stamina. Yoda's weakness is his poor attacks, well, attack speed. Rey is just like, she's like Dooku, you know, she can take damage really easily, but she doesn't have the regen to get it back at all. Luke's attacks, they are really strong and fast, but he doesn't have the health regen, you know. Maul's average. He's just as fast as Luke, and his attacks aren't as strong, but he recovers more health. Now, I'd say a Luke without Intensify is equal to a Maul. It's closer than you think. With Intensify, I'd say Luke beats him, but without it, it's a pretty even fight. Now, Maul being one of the weaker light side characters, in my opinion, I mean, there's Vader, there's Dooku. I don't know how to play Grievous, but if you know how to play Grievous, he's pretty good. Now, despite the fact I have 400 levels on Maul, I feel a lot more confident with Kylo, who I have 183 levels on. But, yeah, levels aren't everything. I played co-op to get the Kenobi skin. Luke, honestly, if I didn't play co-op on Maul, Luke would probably be the most played character. Because I haven't went on co-op for him at all. But yeah. So, one of the weaknesses, Anakin's stamina, Yoda's attack speed, Rey can take a lot of damage, and Luke has hardly any regen. Obi-Wan, I wouldn't really say he has a weakness. You know? I mean, he gets out of stamina, he just, you know, does the force push, or defensive rush, and you know, he can still attack while out of stamina, and recover his stamina at the same time. Yeah, his health regen, highest in the game. It can be pushed further with cards. Yeah. When Obi-Wan's out of attacking stamina, and he doesn't really have anything, let's say you're against the Kylo, and you know you have to hit defensive rush, Kylo can just frenzy, but Obi-Wan will know that, he can just dodge out of it and parry it. Or maybe even force push and then get some 2 extra hits with a lunge or so. So, only in some very specific situations will Obi-Wan do anything. Obi-Wan versus Dooku, I'd say that's pretty even. Obi-Wan versus Grievous, I'd say probably Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan just has that regen. If it's Slash's weak, if he has Slash's weak, you probably don't stand a chance. But Obi-Wan has the regen, he has the defensive rush, even if, like, you know, he has the claw rush and whatnot. Obi-Wan still beats him. Obi-Wan and Vader, I'd say Vader trumps all. Even Obi-Wan, but he trumps Obi-Wan the least. So, Obi-Wan, in my opinion, is the only, like, really good light side hero. You know, but on the dark side, who we got? We have Vader, even without cards, the best player in the, well, the best character in the game. He has the choke ability, which he can combo with his other abilities, focus, rage, and lightsaber throw. Then we have Grievous, who packs a punch just as much as Vader, especially with stiff trained. And he's allowed regen. He's actually allowed regen. So I think this gives him the second highest regen in the game. I think it beats Dooku, because Dooku isn't allowed the regen combo, Grievous is. So Grievous has slightly less regen than Obi-Wan, and can still pack as much of the punch with Vader. Grievous's weakness, well, it's not like Anakin, you know? I mean, Grievous, when he runs out of stamina, he can pop Unrelenting Advance and Claw Rush, you know? It's like Obi-Wan. He can still attack while recovering stamina. But he packs more of a punch. So, I'd say Grievous is like a better Obi-Wan. You know, he loses stamina quicker, sure, but he can deal out more damage. And still have nearly the same amount of regen. And he can get his stamina back just by using his abilities. Vader, do we really need to go through it? I mean, sure, he can be clunky, and once he's out of stamina, he's out for like 3 whole seconds, but, you know, that's why you wait on choke. You can just spam and spam. If you never use choke, they'll be too afraid to attack you, and if they do, you choke. That'll be that. So Vader's the best in the game. Grievous, if you know how to play him, he can be probably the second best in the game. Obi-Wan, it's between Obi-Wan and Dooku. Honestly, I give it to Dooku. Dooku has high regen. It's not to the point where it's as high as Grievous or Obi-Wan, but he does have some regen. I'd say around, I think 300. I think. Maybe that's with his stock, I don't know. But he still has regen, and in my opinion, Dooku is probably the best duelist in the game. I fight better with Dooku than I do Vader, you know? If anyone says Vader's the best, well, he's everyone's best, you know? That's not really, it's not really a thing, is it? You know, it just kind of cancels out. Anyone can win with Vader. Dooku, you know, duelist, exposed weakness, you get a cheeky hook swing in there, you get the critical hit. You know, you're done for, basically. So, I like Finesse, but you can use Masterful Duelist, which increases duelist damage. Dominance, where it increases exposed weakness damage, and you can get a critical hit. I've been able to 2-shot a Han Solo with that setup. But I like Finesse, because, you know, stamina. Now, whatever health Han Solo is at, I think it's like 650. Luke is at 750. Obi-Wan is at 750. Okay? So that makes it like, whoa, it's amazing. And also, I think Dooku has 750 health, Grievous has 800 health, and Vader has 800 health. Without counts, of course. Now Luke, 750, Rey, 750, Yoda might be 800. But yeah, light side can recover their stamina better, and Obi-Wan does have more of it. But Vader, he has Choke, Grievous, he has Claw Rush, just to recover his stamina, and Unrelenting Advance, and he can still pack just as much of the punch with Vader, because, you know, their attack damage is very similar, you know? Grievous can output even more damage with his bunny hops, you know? Vader's not really the bunny hopping type, is it? You can do an animation cancel here and there, but nah, not the bunny hopping like Grievous. Kylo, he's got some very fast hook swings. Yeah, you can combo his abilities, you know, you pull, you freeze, you could do a hook swing and then get another hit. Then you can go for you know, it's like a Luke without repulse, or an Anakin without heroic might, or an Obi-Wan, or a Yoda without push, or Rey without dash. If you know this, you can just go for a frenzy. Even if they parry it, you have 40% damage reduction. And of course, the third one's a block breaker as well. And because, you know, dark side, Vader has a health buff. You can activate Focus Rage and just go in swinging. Grievous has very high health regen. Dooku has very high health regen. Maul and Kylo, they're on a little bit of a lower level, but Maul, I'm not really good with him, but I've seen how he can be better than Kylo. A lot. But I play better with Kylo. I can't aim the saber throw. But Maul, he has the frame trap. Kylo, you can combo his abilities, his frenzy comes back really fast. His hook swings are amazing. And yeah, I mean, what have you got on the light side, you know? You got Luke. Anyone versus Vader loses. Most people versus Grievous, except maybe Luke and maybe Obi-Wan, loses. Dooku, oh, you just dominate Anakin, because, you know, low stamina. He dominates Luke because low health. Dooku versus Rey, I say that's an even match, if I'm being honest. You know, both free dodges, both one knockdown. But Dooku does have the damage edge. You know, you could have damaging strike on Rey, actually. So I'd say if you have the third dodge card and damaging strike on Rey, you're about even with Dooku. But if not, Dooku wins. So it's even between Rey and Dooku. If not, Dooku's slightly better. Dooku versus Yoda, as I said, slowest attack speed in the game versus fastest attack speed in the game. No competition whatsoever. Dooku will easily double parry everything, along with Duelist, the critical hit. Yeah. Obi-Wan. Yeah, I'd say Obi-Wan beats Dooku. But everyone else, except maybe Rey, they lose to Dooku. Seems kind of strange how the dark side have literally the best characters and the best abilities. Vader's choke is lovely. Grievous' bunny hopping along with his claw rush, that can be amazing. You can also hit them twice with the claw rush if you're good with them. Dooku, lightning stun, guaranteed 2 hits most of the time. And his 2 hits are really strong. They honestly are. He can output damage in like 2 seconds, more than Grievous and more than Vader. Because Dooku is ridiculous at times, but he can take damage. Now, who on the light side can do what Dooku can do? Maybe Rey, with her dash combo actually. Dash, 2 hits, but that's not always guaranteed, you know, sometimes they can fly off, sometimes you'll just miss the hit. But with Dooku, you know, right in front of them, lightning stun, if you have already Duelist popped, pop it, and then you can just get 2 hits in there. Vader is best. Grievous, second best. I'd say Obi-Wan's third best, and then Dooku's fourth best. See, who's best after that? I don't know. I'd say maybe Luke. You know, he's agile, he doesn't run out of stamina fast, and he has the second strongest attacks in the game. But dark side abilities are just better. Sure, their stamina is worse, and their stamina recovery is worse. But dark side is just better. Yeah. You can combo their abilities much better. I mean, what do you have with Luke? You have the repulse, which, you know, maybe if you're close, you can get a hit in there. You have the push, which just sends them far away. If you're not on like something like MC-85 Star Cruiser, I don't think you're ever, you know, gonna hit him. You could lunge though. Rey, the dash hit combo. Yeah, that's pretty good. But other than that, I mean, Rey relies very heavily on her dash, just like Vader relies heavily on her choke. So if you can, you know, predict that, you know, if you're a Kylo, you could just freeze or pull him. If you're a Grievous, you could claw rush. If you're a Dooku, you could lightning stun. If you're a Vader, you could choke. If you're a Maul, maybe you could go for a frame trap or a saber throw, or even a spin attack. Because, you know, if you spin attack, it sends you flying even if the dash hits you. So, yeah, it's kind of a hit and a miss with Rey. Yoda, he has the double parry into a dash attack, which I think always takes perma, unless you're fighting a Grievous. Or a Dooku, actually. So, yeah, it's a hit and a miss with Yoda as well. Someone like Kylo, or maybe Maul, Yoda dominates. I wouldn't say as much for Maul, but definitely Kylo. Yoda dominates Kylo. Because he can absorb his force abilities. If he gets frozen or pulled, he can presence. He can parry his frenzy, and he has a block breaker. And that presence gives him health. I mean, what is Kylo supposed to do, you know? Yoda also has a star card, which is where he receives less overall damage. So that works well against Kylo's with frenzy. By the way, don't put lightsaber mastery on. As I said, you know, light side stamina, it's great. It honestly is. Especially Yoda's come back like right away. It honestly does. Agility, 3 block breakers are good, and opposing dark side, of course, you want to do more damage, so why not? But yeah, that is why dark side is better than light side by miles. Vader does high damage, he has a health, and he has the choke, along with a lightsaber throw, which can, you know, work well with a choke, actually. Grievous, you can just bunny hop, animation cancel, claw rush, and he can just output damage, you know? His damage is very, very, you know, it hurts a lot. Dooku, of course, swing speed fast, as well as strong attacks. Obi-Wan, honestly, his health regen, it just, that's what places him up here. Without his health regen, I wouldn't place him up here. But I'd still say Grievous is better than him. You know? Because he can recover his, no, actually, I think Obi-Wan's better. Because Obi-Wan has more regen, and they can both recover their stamina while doing, these attacks. Unrelenting Advance makes Grievous exposed from the back. Force Push makes Obi-Wan exposed. Of course. Now, the Defensive Rush doesn't actually expose Obi-Wan unless you Spin Attack, Saber Throw with either Vader or Maul, or Frenzy with Kylo. But you can still hit Grievous in the Claw Rush, which in my opinion you should have Cowardly Retreat, always. Line up weaklings, sure, it can be helpful, but only against someone like Obi-Wan. Because if it's a Luke, you're probably going to win anyway. If it's a Rey, you're probably going to win anyway. Yoda, definitely going to win. And Anakin, you should have won ages ago. But yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.